Hey guys, Editing Devin here to let you know that I once again forgot to film an intro for this video. So this is going to be kind of an Ulta haul. We're testing out new makeup from Ulta, but specifically like drugstore, on the drugstore affordable side. I had been watching just a few videos like this and saw some interesting products in YouTube videos that I had been watching, so I wanted to make a video of my own. I do feel like makeup releases in general have slowed down from where they were, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, where it just felt like there was an overwhelming amount of products coming out all the time. But that being said, I do feel like there still is a fair amount of interesting things coming out on a regular basis in the, you know, makeup and beauty world. So if you are interested in seeing my first impressions and hearing my thoughts and opinions on these products, then let's get into it right now. Okay, let's get right to it. So first and foremost, the first product that we are going to try is this Tree Hut Sugar Lips Lip Butter. This is the watermelon flavor. I am a huge fan of the Tree Hut exfoliating scrubs, and watermelon is my favorite, both like real watermelon and also that fake watermelon Jolly Rancher smell. I really love it. So their watermelon body scrub is actually one of my absolute favorites. Anyway, I saw this. It was labeled as a new product on Ulta, and I was like, you know what? I want to try that because I know if nothing else, I'm gonna like the way it smells. So it does feel nice on the lips. It's not too thick. My favorite lip balm ever is the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm, and this one doesn't feel quite as juicy, maybe not quite as emollient as that one, but other than that, it feels really nice on the lips, and it definitely smells exactly like candy watermelon, which is like one of my favorites. Okay, I'm just looking on the Ulta website for the price. So this is $6.99 at Ulta. Made with shea butter and watermelon, instantly locks in moisture, pillow soft lips, non-sticky formula, made with ingredients that... We live like kind of right near a main road. I'm not sure if the mic is gonna pick that up, but definitely lots of noise outside today. Anyway, made with ingredients that work together to nourish and soothe dry, chapped lips. I like it, especially for something that's affordable. I feel like a lot of the popular lip butters or lip balms like this in a squeezy tube are like upwards of $20. So for $6.99, I like it so far. Okay, so I do have a complexion product to try out today. But before I do that, I just wanna go ahead and prime my skin. I've already done all of my skincare and everything, so I am pretty nice and prepped for makeup already, if I'm being completely honest, but I like primers. So I just want to give myself a little bit of extra hydration with this guy. This is the NYX Plump Right Back Plumping Serum and Primer. Nothing new. I really like that one. Okay. So I picked this up, and honestly, I had not even heard of this. Apparently this has been going viral on TikTok. I saw this as I was gathering inspiration for products to test out for this video. I saw this in a bunch of recent new at the drugstore YouTube videos. So that's how I came across this. This is the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. It has 0.5% bakuchiol, and it is labeled as a Hydro Fresh tint. But take a look at those little beads in there. Like, I have never ever used a foundation, complexion, skin tint product like this. So this will be interesting. Because it's a skin tint, it's not a large shade range, so I was a little unsure of what to pick up. So this shade is 40 medium, and I only picked up one because this is actually kind of expensive. It was like $21 or $22 or something like that. So I only picked up one shade to test it out, but I did pick up more of a, what I was thinking would be more of a self-tan shade for me. I'm not self-tanned right now. So we'll see. The shade match might not be completely correct, but we can at least test out the finish and the formula and just, I don't know. I am very unsure about this. So here we go. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place. Let me tell you the claims really quick. It's a skincare and makeup hybrid with micro droplet technology. Pigmented capsules blend easily to distribute an even tint and improve your skin tone. Your complexion looks plump, refreshed, and more youthful. It's a clean and vegan formula, dermatologically tested. And the directions say blend between fingers or with a brush to activate tinted micro droplets and then apply onto face. Okay, so I think my strategy here is going to be to get some on the back of my hand first. Okay, that looks wild. Wild. Okay, so I'm gonna mix it up to activate it. This is so weird. Look at that. This is so weird. Okay, so like I said, the color might not be amazing for me right now. Wait, what? Okay, the way it looked on the back of my hand when I was mixing that up versus the way it just applied to my skin, as if it's just a normal foundation. Oh, and this color actually is not terrible for me right now. If you couldn't tell, I'm in shock. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more. It's not full coverage. I would call this probably like a buildable coverage. Not super sheer either. Maybe a good light to medium coverage. But look at this. See how liquidy and clear it looks on the back of my hand? And then I pick it up on my brush and that just looks like foundation. What in the absolute heck is going on around here? It actually does feel really good going onto the skin as well. I feel like I can feel that skincare aspect of it. Now, obviously I'm using quite a lot of it right now, but I'm just trying to get a feel for it and make sure that I get it like all over. I do like more of a full coverage. So when things like this are more of a buildable coverage, I do tend to use quite a bit of it. And the only thing I will say is I'm having a hard time getting it to blend nicely on my nose. I feel like it's not sticking down on my nose, but on the rest of my face, I feel like this looks really nice. In my past couple of videos, I've been complaining about how dry my skin has felt moving back to Pennsylvania from Florida and just feeling like I can't get enough hydration into my skin. And I don't want to speak too soon, but I kind of feel like this type of product is like what my skin needs right now as I'm adjusting back to the Pennsylvania, like Philadelphia climate. Okay, so we're off to a pretty decent start. Let's keep going. So I picked up this Physicians Formula Butter Glow Contour Wand. I got the Fair Light shade. So it says it is a long-wearing, multi-use, radiance-boosting contour wand that provides buildable and blendable coverage for a flawlessly natural sculpted complexion. Smooth and creamy texture melts on contact, giving your skin a refreshed glow unlike any other. Cushion applicator dispenses product evenly to define features and blend out effortlessly for a natural contour finish. Obviously looks like a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. I actually have never tried that product, and I should, because I actually do have the Charlotte Tilbury Pro discount. So there are a lot of things from Charlotte Tilbury that I have not tried, other than like the staples that I keep in my kit that, you know, maybe I should. So here's what we look like. Let's see if we can get that product to come up through. Like I said, I've never really used a product like this before, so let's see. Come on, you can do it. Oh. So there's an on and off switch here, so let me switch that to on first. There we go, there it goes. Okay, looks like a decent color. I don't want to use too much at once, so I'm just gonna start with a couple dots and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so it definitely does sheer out. I was a little nervous. Like I don't know, doesn't that look kind of dark when you first put it on? So I was nervous about that, but it looks like it's pretty blendable and it does sheer out to where you don't have to necessarily worry about using too much. You still want to try not to use too much, obviously, but anyway, okay. I mean, that looks pretty nice. So let me go ahead and dot this in the other places where I normally contour. This is such an interesting way to contour. I use creams, but I don't really use liquid bronzers like this. This is a lot more of a liquid. Well, it's not a lot more of a liquid, it is a liquid, as opposed to the creams that I'm used to using. But I like it. I can definitely see the mass market appeal to a liquid product like this because it does feel very easy to manipulate. Obviously, this is not a dupes video. I cannot compare this to the Charlotte Tilbury one for you guys or I know there's so many out there now. I know Tarte has one. e.l.f. has some of these too, right? And Flower Beauty, like there's definitely a bunch of brands that have this type of product out there. Just looking at this product as a standalone, I feel like it looks all right. No complaints so far. We'll see how it wears. Okay, I do not have a new concealer to try out today, so I'm just gonna pop a little bit of oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I have a liquid blush. I have a blush to test out. So just pretend I didn't do that. So I actually want to try blush before concealer. With my creams, I usually do bronzer, concealer, blush if I remember to apply my cream blush because I always forget. But today I want to try blush and then concealer. So this is the Blushed Liquid Blush Lighter from Juvia'S Place. I have mine in the shade Soft Tulip Glow. So I believe that they have a line of liquid blushes that existed already before these that were just plain. But as you can, I hope, see in the camera, it's picking up in my viewfinder, this has some iridescence to it. So it's supposed to be that kind of Charlotte Tilbury-esque like combination between a blush and a highlighter. So this is definitely going to have a lot of illumination and radiance to it. So again, I'm gonna tread lightly to start and we're gonna see how this goes. Oh boy, I probably only needed one dot. Probably should have just started with one dot, but that's okay. We're just gonna completely cover that contour that we just did. I mean, honestly though, that is stunning. What a beautiful color. This is definitely my kind of color too. I feel like the really pink blushes are popular right now. I am such a like warm, coral colored, peachy blush. I just really love a warmer toned pinky blush versus that like Barbie pink. So I mean, it's pigmented and it looks like a lot right now, but I think once I put my concealer on over top, it will blend everything together. But pigment is there, but I'll just get a little closer so you guys can see that really beautiful iridescence. Yeah. Gorge. So now I'm gonna do my concealer really quickly. I'm gonna use my Born This Way concealer in the shade Porcelain. Again, I don't have any new affordable or drugstore concealers to test out today. I feel like I haven't heard about very many recently. So if there's something that I'm missing, definitely let me know if there is a fairly new drugstore concealer that I need to try. So just blending this out, taking it down the sides of my nose, and I am gonna take it just like around the apple of my cheek here a little bit to tone that down. See, but you guys can see now that I have my concealer on, this looks a lot less crazy than this. Okay, I think that looks really pretty. And I do feel like my cheekbones are like nice and emphasized, you know? They're popping. Okay, so once again, I don't have a new setting powder to try out today, so I'm just gonna use my Huda in the shade Pound Cake. And again, if there's a new drugstore affordable setting powder that I'm missing out on, please, please, please let me know. I'm just gonna lightly tap that in underneath my eyes. This will be a good test to see how well these products underneath stand up under a translucent setting powder, because one thing about me is I'm always setting. I'm always setting my makeup. You will not catch me without using setting powder, ever, 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 ever. So I use my puff to just tap it in, really in the center of my face, and then I just take a brush, swirl it into whatever's left in the cap, and set the perimeter of my face, but also dust away any of the excess powder that's sitting in the places where we just laid it down with a powder puff. So, I mean, yeah, you can definitely see that contour and that blush peeking through, even though we just set it down. So that's a good sign. Okay, and I have not told you guys what anything costs since that first lip butter. So this was $21.49 at Ulta. This guy was $18, so a little bit on the higher end, probably not truly drugstore affordable. Juvia'S Place is kind of like that medium brand, not the lowest prices, but also not the highest prices. They are right in the middle, but they are sold on the affordable side. They're not sold on the prestige side of Ulta. So I feel like a lot of people count Juvia'S Place in this category. So we're gonna do that as well. And then the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Contour Wand was $13.49. So again, this really, I feel like, is considered a true drugstore brand. And, you know, $13.49, $18, like drugstore, especially brands like Physicians Formula. Drugstore's getting up there too. And this 20 bucks, over 20 bucks. Like, we're getting up there at the drugstore, people. Okay, we actually are kind of getting towards the end of the list of products that I bought to test out for this video. So I do have a powder bronzer to try. So this is the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. I got mine in the shade Deserve Butter, which is labeled as a light medium neutral bronzer. This is also labeled as, you know, a butter, it says butter bronzer on the back. The only brand that I've ever heard refer to their bronzers as like a butter bronzer is Physicians Formula. So perhaps this is inspired by that. I'm not sure. I will say I was like intrigued, but also skeptical of these because they looked so cool toned. I feel like in the pictures on the Ulta website, they looked almost gray. Seeing it in person, it's definitely not a super warm orange bronzer by any means, but I am feeling like it's not super gray or cool toned, like to the point where it looks, it might look a little weird on the face, or it might be more of a contour instead of a bronzer. I do feel like looking at this shade, it can still, you know, constitute a bronzer. So whoa, that was pigmented. I mean, this brush wasn't clean before. I had a little bit of product on there. I'm trying to figure out if that's a smell or not. Anyway, ADD is pretty bad today. But this brush was not completely clean before I just picked that product up, but I feel like that looks really pigmented on my brush. So, oh, it is pigmented. Wow. Okay. I have just like the regular matte bronzers from NYX and I like them. Like they're pretty good, just like standard bronzers. But that looks nice and also looks a lot more bronzy on my skin in terms of like warmth. It's not, again, it's not super orangey or anything like that, but that looks warm. I feel like it's reading in the camera too, but in person it looks warm. And the pigment, I'm impressed by that. And it blended out, like even though they were pigmented and I felt like I kind of got a lot on my brush, I do feel like I was able to spread it out. But like, look at that. I almost feel like I need to take a powder brush and just like tone it back a little. All right, so I'm just gonna pick up a little bit more on my brush now, knowing how pigmented that is, and I'm going to try to go over where we put the contour right underneath my cheekbone without covering the blush up too much, just to give myself a little extra definition underneath my cheekbone. Look at that. I mean, I definitely need to kind of like snatch underneath, and it's looking on camera, it's looking a little bit more like just a line on my face than it does in person. But as far as pigment, I'm impressed. And it's bigger in person. Like, I feel like in the pictures it also looks kind of small, but it's bigger in person than I was expecting it to be. And the packaging's kind of cool too. It's like, I don't know, it's got the rounded edges. It's got like a cool feel to it. Okay, since we didn't do any, I didn't use that liquid bronzer for nose contour, I'm gonna use a little bit of this powder and see how we like it for that. Okay, I mean, I'm definitely not upset about it at all. Guys, we're having some good luck today. We are having some good luck today. All right, now I will say, after having been set down, I did lose a lot of the iridescence from this blush, so that's just something to note. But again, I'm never going to not set my makeup down with a powder, so there would never be a situation where I would just wear this on its own, really. It's still there a little bit, but I definitely lost some of that. And then also, this could be a positive or a negative depending on how you like your complexion to look, but this also really was able to be set down with a powder. I mean, and this Huda powder is pretty, I don't want to call it heavy duty because this has become one of my favorite setting powders. It's a really beautiful powder, but it is meant for baking and for really setting your makeup down. I personally think it gives a really beautiful smoothing finish, but my point in this ramble is that you can see all of the radiance from this is kind of gone from my face as well. Now, typically what happens for me is that like I'll use a dewy foundation, I will set everything down and maybe use a dewy setting spray as well. And then the way that my skin works is as I wear it throughout the day. some of that radiance comes back. I do still get like a little bit oily. I do have some natural oils that come through, although I will say in this Pennsylvania extended winter that we're having, not so much, but typically the radiance does come through a little bit if it's a dewy foundation, even though I've set it down. So anyway, just some thoughts as we're moving along here. I don't have a powder blush to top this off with today, so I'm just gonna go over top of this with my Tiger Lily blush from Sigma. I feel like these blushes are kindred spirits, so I feel like this is gonna look really nice over top of this, because I feel like this could almost be this blush in powder form. So let's just do that real quick. Get a little bit of that on there. And because this also has that radiance in it, this Tiger Lily blush, I think it'll bring back some of that illuminated effect that we had with the liquid blush that we kind of lost after we powdered it. Okay, all we have left is a new mascara and then a couple of lip products to try. So I'm gonna fill my brows in really quick off of camera. Again, don't have anything new to test out here. So I'm gonna do that. I'll be right back. All right, my friends, we have brows. So now we just have mascara and lips. And honestly, that is pretty much a like everyday makeup look for me. So before we go any further, I am going to spray my complexion with a nice hydrating setting spray. This is the Pretty Fresh from ColourPop, one of my all-time favorites. I like to do my setting spray before my mascara when I'm doing an everyday look like this, because it just keeps my mascara from like running and smudging. So what I always do is spray my setting spray and then I powder my eyelids. So I'm just taking a little bit more of my translucent powder on like a little fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'll just powder my eyelids after I do my setting spray so that the mascara doesn't smudge or run. All right, so let's go ahead and curl the lashes. And then I always like to apply my mascara right after I curl my lashes, just because my eyelashes grow straight out. So I feel like I gotta get in there really quick so that it holds the curl. So we are going to test out the Essence Lash Without Limits Extra Lengthening and Volumizing Mascara. All it says on the back here is Innovative Flexible Brush, Extreme Lengthening and Volume Mascara. So here is what the brush looks like. It definitely reminds me of a mascara that I've tried before. The Benefit Bad Gal Bang maybe, but it looks really nice. I actually used to love that Benefit one. Okay. Okay. I've been struggling to find a mascara that I really love lately. This looks really nice. You know how sometimes when you open a fresh mascara, it's super wet and it's hard to work with? This doesn't feel that way at all. All right, that was 2 coats. I'm gonna do 1 more just to try to get my outer lashes a little bit more for good measure. All right, so that is about 2.5, 3 coats of this mascara on this eye. Looks pretty good in my opinion. And once again, I'm realizing that I have not told you how much things are. So this Buttermelt bronzer, at least I don't think I said it, this is $10 at Ulta. And this mascara that we're trying out right now is $4.99. Sorry guys. All right, you guys, I really don't have a lot of complaints about this mascara. I think it's really nice. I am impressed with how it went on initially, especially for the price point. $4.99 is great. I will say I do feel like after having this mascara on for a little bit, I did lose a little bit of the curl. My lashes are falling a little bit. We'll see how it wears. One complaint I do have about certain Essence mascaras is that once they get a little bit older and dry out a little bit, they can like flake and crumble underneath your eye, which I don't love. But for right now, I think we're looking pretty good. So I have 3 lip products here from NYX. These 2 are like actually newer formulas. This is just a twist up lip liner that I'm not sure how new, like how much of a new release this is. I'm not sure how long these have been around. NYX has a ton of different formulas, but they were doing like a buy two, get one free on lip products, which is why I bought all 3 of these. And I've never used their Twist Up lip liner formula before. So we're gonna use this just for fun today. And then I did pick up one of their Duck Plump lip, what is this supposed to be, a gloss? High pigment plumping gloss, and I got mine in the shade Bangin' Bear. I feel like I've really been missing a good nude gloss in my collection, so we're gonna give this a try and see if we like that. And then this is their Fat Oil Slick Click. I feel like a lot of brands are coming out with this type of product. I have not tried the Tarte one or anything like that. I actually think this is gonna be the one that I test out today, and then we'll leave this for another video. But this is in the shade No Filter Needed. So I'm gonna line my lips with the lip liner first. I got this in the shade Sand Beige, so hopefully, let's take a look at this. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good color. Let's just do a swatch of this on the back of my hand too. So you like pump this up. Okay, that's definitely more of like a pinky. This has more of a pinky undertone. This has more of a nude, but I still think they're gonna coordinate well together on the lips. So let's go for it. So I'm gonna line my lips first. Okay, stunning formula. I am obsessed with this. Just as a first impression, let me see how much it was. So $5, but it was free. It was like the buy two, get one free. This was the free item. I love this. It glides on and has the pigment payoff of like my favorite ColourPop lippy pencils, but it's not as emollient as those, which I actually think is a good thing because those, I love them, but sometimes they can kind of slip around on the lips a little bit, especially if you put a gloss on top. This feels so comfortable, and look at that pigment. Like I feel like my lips look so good, I could just leave them like this. This feels so comfortable, but it doesn't feel as emollient, so I feel like this will have some good staying power on the lips as well. I am really impressed and definitely want to check out some more colors of that, especially for $5. And then let's try this little slick click thing. Again, this is the shade No Filter Needed. I wasn't sure if it was no filter or no filler. It's filter. Okay, wow, you guys, that is so pretty too. I feel like I was expecting it to be like plumping maybe or something. And I also was afraid that this packaging would be like kind of messy, but it's not. It kind of stays contained in that little tip there. I really like this. And I actually think that this lip combo looks so good together. And my lips just look, they look plump. They look juicy. It looks like I got lip filler. I'm impressed. I really like both of these products more than I thought that I would. But like my makeup looks good. Like for an everyday makeup look, we look good. I like it. And I also do feel like some of the radiance is coming back, like especially I think after using this hydrating setting spray, my skin doesn't look quite as like powdered down as it did when I had freshly applied my setting powder. I do feel like we've got some life coming back to the skin as well, which is really nice. I just feel like this makeup is very flattering right now, and I'm very happy about it because I do have, I have dinner plans tonight, so I'm glad that I don't have to take this off and redo it. I feel like I can just leave my makeup like this, which is always a huge plus when you're testing out new makeup. Okay, I was about to say okay, my friends, but also okay, you guys, and it was about to come out okay, my guys. So pretty successful testing new makeup, especially new on the affordable side of makeup. And I'm saying on the affordable side because I really feel like even affordable makeup is getting up there at this point in history. That just is what it is these days. But I wanted to do just a quick roundup of my initial first impressions and thoughts on all of the products that we just tried. So standouts, I'm gonna say, are these two lip products that we just tried. The NYX retractable lip liner, again in the shade Sand Beige, and then the Fat Oil Slick Click. I'm not really sure in which order you're supposed to say these, but the Slick Click Fat Oil in the shade No Filter Needed. Obsessed. I really love the way my lips look. And then also NYX is just our winner today, because also this Buttermelt bronzer, I was really impressed with the pigment and the color. I didn't know what to expect from this, and I feel like I was pleasantly surprised. So definitely liked that as a first impression. And then also this liquid blush from Juvia'S place. I think it's gorgeous. It held its own underneath of my setting powder. Again, maybe it lost a little bit of its radiance, but the pigment and the color still was able to hold its own even with setting it down, and then topped off with a powder blush of a similar shade. I feel like it looks really pretty, and my blush just looks that much more pronounced with this layered underneath of a powder blush. So definitely want to continue to use this. So those are my standout products.